Hey fam, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jess, or Fit by J.Lee, and I'm so excited to have you guys here today for a special grocery haul edition, the budget edition. We are working with a budget this week. I know a lot of us, we get to that end of the month, we just paid all of our bills and, bank accounts look a little low, can't really do anything about it, especially, when you live in an expensive city. So this week I'm just having one of those weeks where I'm trying to trim the budget a bit and be a little bit more conscious of what I'm buying. So I figured I would do a special budget grocery haul so that you know how to optimize your grocery list for health when you are on a budget. So just a few little tips and tricks in my bag of tricks. The first tip, don't forget your bags because they're going to charge you for that. I forgot my bags. Whoops. Oh well. Sad times. Luckily they gave me a double bag, so didn't really need it. So the first thing I do before even going to the store, even making my list, is look through my cupboards and kind of see what do I already have that I can work with. So the things that I found, two things that I found in my cupboards that I was like, okay, I can work with these, were granola and rice. I'm gonna get back to these as I start to pull things out. So keeping that in mind, I have rice, I have granola on hand, so now let's get into what I'm going to be doing with those. First and foremost, I've got some eggs. Some lovely little eggs. Just got a little 6-pack because it's cheaper than getting the full dozen, but I'm sure you can get a dozen and it wouldn't adjust your price range that much. So for the rice, I decided I would make rice bowls for dinner, and I'm going to use the egg as my protein. Meat can be really expensive, and vegetarian meat that I would be using can be even more expensive sometimes than regular meat. So I just say, if you're on a budget, just do a meatless week. Get your protein from your eggs and other sources. Do what you want. I'm not here to judge. I'm pescatarian, vegetarian, so I do eat fish sometimes, but I don't know about meat, so I know about it. I don't know about buying it. And especially for these rice bowls, because there's gonna be so much else in the bowls, you won't need that much. The other thing I got for the rice bowls was some frozen broccoli. All right, I'm gonna say this loud and I'm gonna say it proud. There is no difference between fresh and frozen produce. Let me say it again for the people in the back. There is no difference between fresh and frozen produce. This is the same nutritional value as fresh broccoli at a third of the cost. If you're on a budget, go for frozen, is basically what I'm trying to say. You got it, and if you don't use it all that week, it's not gonna go to waste. That is the beauty of frozen. Just thinking. It's the same thing for canned stuff, and the only time that it's ever gonna be different nutritional value is if it's frozen in a cream sauce, canned in a cream sauce, or canned in a preservative, which is usually sodium. That's the only way that it's not good for you. But otherwise, if you just check and it says stored in its own juices or stored in its own water, juices would be a fruit would be stored in its own juices. But anything else that's just stored in water, totally fine. Absolutely the same. There is no difference. This is something diet culture made up so that you would feel like you have to buy fresh produce to be healthy, and you don't. You absolutely do not. I would say, going back to the protein issue, they do have some frozen meat patties. If you wanted that for protein, frozen's definitely going to be cheaper than fresh. So get some frozen patties. Who knows? I also grabbed light, fancy shredded Mexican blend cheese. This is another protein source for the bowls. The reason I picked that one specifically is because I checked all the prices of the cheeses and I was like, I'm just gonna go with the cheapest one. That was the cheapest one, and it's also a pretty big bag, so I don't feel like I paid a lot of money for like this tiny little bag. Like that's a decent amount. That'll last me longer even than this week. Other things I got. Okay, so one more thing for the rice bowl. I got cauliflower rice. I do this with rice in general whenever I'm making any kind of rice bowls. So I will cook the cauliflower rice. I'll cook one serving or like one measure of the rice, and then I'll mix the two together, and then that's enough for the week. It also adds an extra vegetable to the dish and makes it more voluminous so you feel more full, and it's got a lot more fiber too. This is what I love about this bowl idea that I had, is that like, yeah, I'm on a budget, but I'm still in this meal going to be getting every like food group that I need. I'm getting the grains from the rice, I'm getting vegetable from the cauliflower rice and the broccoli, I'm getting protein from the egg and the cheese. And I'm gonna spice it up a little bit. I do have some sriracha sauce in the fridge, and I'm probably just gonna add that on top to add a little bit of spice, a little bit of flavor. But you don't need to do a lot. And if you're on a budget, like who cares? You don't need to be fancy. Like, you're worried about like making sure your body has the fuel it needs to exist. So don't worry if like you're not doing Top Chef status this week. Like, just do what you gotta do, man. It's fine. Okay, getting into other things. So that'll be dinner. I got apples because they are not only pretty inexpensive, it's only 69 cents an apple. So if you need something that's fibrous, that's filling, that's, you know, good for you, has a lot of vitamins, go for apples because, I mean, they're less than $1. So I got 6 of them, and those will kind of be like part of lunch snack. Oh, this was the other thing I found in the cupboard, some almonds. So I'll probably just have like snacky lunches where I just snack on like apples and almonds, and I also got baby carrots for lunch as well. Kind of working our way backwards through the meals here. So the baby carrots, yes, these are organic, but these actually ended up being cheaper than the regular carrots. I used to love carrots, and for some reason I just got so sick of them for a while that I don't buy them that often, but they're really good for you. A lot of vitamins, a lot, you know, beta carotene, great for the eyes. They're really good for you. So definitely kind of like excited about that. It's been a while since I bought them, and I'm kind of vibing with them right now. Yeah, lunch will be a little bit more kind of like a late afternoon snack. We've talked about before, I'm an intuitive eater, so I don't necessarily have like breakfast at breakfast time, lunch at lunchtime, and dinner at dinner time. I kind of have breakfast like later on in the afternoon, early afternoon, like late morning. So there's a little bit less time between my breakfast and my dinner. So if I have a pretty filling breakfast, I don't need much to continue through my day to get me to dinner. So thoughts and prayers on that. And speaking of breakfast, so I had the granola in the cupboard. I'm gonna pair that with some Greek yogurt. So again, going for protein. I'm not gonna use a ton of granola. I just kind of sprinkle it on because granola tends to be high in saturated fat. The one I found is actually very low, and it's also lower calorie, and it's gluten-free. So I'm excited about that. It's got turmeric in it. How fun. And then I'm gonna also throw in frozen blueberries. Why did I get frozen and not fresh? Because fresh strawberries, fresh blueberries, any kind of fresh berry is gonna be way more expensive than its frozen counterpart, like a fifth of the cost. This cost me $1.69, I think. $1.99. The broccoli was $1.69. This was $1.99, so $2 for a bag of blueberries. And yeah, they're frozen, and I'm gonna put them in the yogurt, but what I'll do is kind of like when I'm starting to feel those hunger cues, I'm gonna go ahead and take the blueberries out, let them thaw, and then just add them to the yogurt. So easy. You can really do that with any fruit. But now it's a good way to kind of start my morning off with a grain, a fruit, and a protein. And then lunch, the protein will be in the nuts. And then I've got a veggie and a fruit choice. I can do one, the other, or both. And then I've got my full dinner, and this was it. This is all the food I personally needed for a week, and this is just for one person. Okay, so just for one person. This will be a little more expensive if you're going for two. The bowls, I think, all this ingredients, definitely enough for two. I would maybe get a dozen eggs if there were two of me. I don't know why there would be two of me, but if there were, I would get a dozen eggs for the two of us for the week, because I'm probably gonna do like one egg a night. I'm not gonna go crazy with that. And the grand total was $21.17. Remember, 10 cents of that is actually for the bags because I forgot mine at home. So food-wise, $21.17, and I think that is just fine. Like, I mean, that's really not a lot. That's just over $20 for a whole week's worth of food for one person. Again, working with some things I have, so maybe if I didn't have the rice and I still wanted to do the rice bowls, a bag of rice is $2, maybe even less. Like, that's not adding that much. That's still under $25. So definitely a very great option if you're trying to keep it in the budget, trying to level it out. And I will say too, some weeks I'm like, the necessities, you just have to let go of them, because normally I'd be starting out this grocery haul with showing you my fresh flowers. No fresh flowers this week because I'm getting down to the essentials. Like, what do I actually need this week? Flowers are always just an extra thing that I like to buy myself. Same thing with any kind of special treat or wine. Luckily, I'm stocked up. I have wine, so I'm okay. But if I needed a bottle of wine, I would, again, budget for it and not get the most expensive thing on the shelf. I would get the $5 wine instead of the $15. Luckily, Trader Joe's has some really good wines for under $5, so it's not hard. It's not hard to stay in budget. Anyway, I hope this was super helpful and kind of gave you some inspiration for the weeks that maybe you're just on a tighter budget and you're not able to spend as much money on groceries. Again, let's go through those key tips again. Stick to frozen fruits and vegetables as much as you can or much as you need to. Go for the cheaper, fresh vegetables. Work with what you've got, okay? So build from what you have and it'll end up being a lot cheaper for your trip. Well, go ahead and drop a comment below. Let me know if this was helpful for you or if you want to see more budget videos like this and how to stay healthy on a budget. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and click that subscribe button below so you don't miss any future grocery hauls, free workouts, or in the kitchen videos. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram for daily fitness and nutrition inspiration. Thank you guys so much again. Have a fabulous week and a fabulous rest of your day, and I'll talk to you later.